No, no. Alright, so continuing from our previous video, so I said the limit clause or statement allows us to restrict the number of rows being printed out from a table or extracted from a table. And the offset allows us to skip a specific number of rows to extract or print out our desired number of rows from a table. Alright, so that's all about the limit and offset. So now going back to our where clause. So there was a topic we didn't treat concerning the where clause. So I'll just asterisk this limit and offset, and I'll go back to the where clause. So now let's look at the like statement. Let's look at the like statement. So what does the like statement do? So now this statement allows us to extract data from a table that either starts with, ends with, or has a particular letter in a character data type. So this allows us to extract data from a table using the where clause, data belonging to the character data type that either starts with, ends with, or has a particular letter in it. So it does so with the help or with the use of a wildcard, which is a percentage symbol. So we're going to be looking at how we can be able to work that out. So you want to copy this previous select statements. I want to copy it down and let us see how our table looked like before we can proceed using the like statement. So now this is our table having 3 rows. So let's say I'm trying to extract data from this table. So I want to extract data that have the letter E. As is, I want to extract data from this table, data whose values under first name has the letter E in them. So I will say select asterisk from other table, and you use a where clause. You say where first name like. You see where first name like, and you open up a quotation mark. So since I'm saying that I'm looking for values, I'm trying to extract data from this table whereby the values under this column should have the letter E in them. So you just say your percentage sign, which represents a wildcard. Now this wildcard represents the rest of the letters in the values under that column. And you see your E and you see percentage again. So what this simply means is that I'm trying to extract data from this table whereby under this column here I'm trying to extract values from this column, values that have the letter E in them. So this percentage symbol represents the letters before letter E, and this percentage symbol represents the letter after the letters or letter after letter E. So now these letters don't have to be of any specific or particular number. They can be any number in value. So they can be 1 letters, 2 letters, but provided there is a letter E after a letter. Now, if you look at each of the values here, you can see Alex here has letter E in it, and Greg also has the letter E. So what would happen is that this query would extract this row and this last row from this table. If I should execute this, you will discover that it's going to print out just those 2 rows alone. So you can see we have Alex and Greg. So that's what this does. And of course, you can modify it to meet your own needs as well properly. So what I mean by that is that, for example, maybe I'm trying to extract values under this column that start with letter A. I can instead come here and write A percentage. So what this simply means is that I'm trying to extract values from this table, values that start with letter A, and then this percentage represents the rest of the letters. Now, if you execute this query, you will discover that to print out only just this first row alone, Alex, Brian, and physics. Alright, so that's how the like statement works. Alright, so let's look at the fetch next or fetch first. Alright, so now the fetch next or fetch first is just similar to the limit statement. So it allows us to, they have the same definition anyway. So it allows us to be able to extract rows or data from a table and restrict it to a specific number. So it allows us to specify the number of rows we're trying to extract from a table, or limit the number of rows we're trying to extract from a table. That's what it does. So let us still work with this other table. You come here, I'll just say fetch first. So now this statement fetch first is also similar to fetch next. Similar to fetch next. So paste that there. And you can now say fetch first. Fetch first one row only. So that's the statement. That's how you write it. So fetch first one row only. But before we do that, let us print out the table again. When you print out the table, you see we have our table. So if I limit it to print out only the first row only, you will discover that it only prints out that row. So now this has printed out only the row. So it just does the same work as the limit statement. So you can also use the offset. For the offset, you have to specify the statement rows. So maybe I want to print out the last two rows as an example. You just use select asterisk from other table and just say fetch first two row only. Rows only. Then now this offset, now the way this one is written is that the offset is written before the fetch first. You just write offset one row. What happens is that, so printing out our table again to look at to see how it looks like before we apply this statement. So now this would allow us to skip this first row, and then the second query would allow us to print out these two rows from the table. Right. If you press play, you discover that you have the two rows printed out. So that's how you can use the fetch next. Fetch first. So I'll just show you how you can interchange them. I come here and say fetch next, you will discover that it does the same thing as fetch first. Highlight it and run. You see that we have fetch next. Alright, so you want to asterisk it out. Let's now look at the in statement. So the in statement, so I will define what it is before we use it. The in statement, what does it do? So now this allows us to be able to extract data from a table or extract rows from a table based on a particular column in that table using a list or tuple of values as its criteria. So I would say that again. This allows us to extract rows or data from a table based on a column in that table using the list of values as its criteria. So for example now, so we'll try and be more practical as possible to select asterisk from other table. Highlighting this, you can see we get our table. So now, for example, if I'm trying to extract, let's say I'm trying to extract people, or I'm trying to extract or know the number of people that offered physics and mathematics, but using a list that has physics and mathematics. So now, this time around, the where clause would be used once again to get this. So the where clause would be used. So now, if I'm trying to extract people that offered physics and maths, come here, you say where course, you say in, you open up a list, you start writing your physics, mathematics. So what this simply means is that this allows you to be able to extract data from this table or extract people that offered only physics and mathematics. So you can see that I'm using a column. I'm extracting data from this table based on a column using this list or tuple as the criteria on that column. So this would allow us to extract data from this table based on this column using this list as criteria. So if you highlight it, you will discover that this will print out just these two rows alone. Highlight it, press play. Discover that you have just those two rows printed out. Alright, so this brings us to the end of our video. Till next time, have a good day.